Chosen one, if these words have found you today, don't dismiss it as coincidence.
There are moments in life that seem ordinary until you realize they were part of a greater plan.
This is one of those moments.
Something beyond what you can see has guided you here, and deep inside, your spirit has already sensed that a breakthrough is near.
Take a slow breath.
Let the noise around you fade for just a moment.
The message you're about to hear wasn't meant for everyone.
It was meant for the person reading these words right now.
Heaven has witnessed every step of your journey. Every silent tear. Every late-night prayer. Every battle you fought without anyone knowing. Even in the moments when you believed you had been forgotten, God never looked away.
During the last few hours, Archangel Michael has been standing as your protector, guarding a truth that is now ready to be revealed.
This isn't about a distant future. It isn't about one day. It concerns this very moment. Something that was carefully hidden has finally been exposed. What was kept in darkness can no longer remain there. A secret has come into the light, and it connects directly to the season you've been walking through. Someone has been confronted with the truth. Masks are beginning to fall, and what is being uncovered will completely change the way you understand recent events in your life. But before you assume this is only a story about betrayal, listen carefully. This is a story about God's protection. It's about divine timing. It's about the moment heaven stepped in before the enemy's plans could go any further. This is a story about divine protection, not fear. It is about the unseen ways God guards His children when hidden motives begin to cross lines they were never meant to cross. Imagine this for a moment. Someone became unusually interested in your life. They noticed the changes in you. They wondered why you had grown quieter, stronger, and more distant from the things that once held you back. Instead of asking you directly, they searched for answers from a distance. Their curiosity became an obsession. They watched your choices. They paid attention to your routines. They tried to understand what had changed inside you. They believed that if they gathered enough pieces of the puzzle, they could finally explain the transformation they were seeing. If this feels personal, stay with me. Because this isn't ultimately a story about another person's actions. It's a story about what happens when God places His hand over someone He has called. The person trying to uncover every detail soon realized something was different. The closer they looked, the less everything made sense. Doors they expected to open remained closed. Questions they thought would have easy answers only led to more mystery. It was as if an invisible hand was protecting what heaven had chosen to keep hidden. The more they searched, the more they sensed that your life could not be understood by ordinary means alone. There was a peace around you they couldn't explain. A strength they couldn't measure. A purpose they couldn't define. One quiet afternoon, they captured a simple photograph of you sitting alone, completely unaware anyone was watching. When they looked back at that ordinary image, something about it stopped them in their tracks. It wasn't the picture itself. It was the overwhelming feeling that they were witnessing someone whose life was being carried by a purpose far greater than they had imagined. As the days passed, something unexpected began to happen. The more he observed your life, the less his assignment made sense. One photo, taken in a quiet moment while you were simply sitting alone, stayed with him. He couldn't explain why. Later, he admitted that the image carried an unusual sense of peace, as if it reflected a life rooted in faith rather than appearances. He tried to continue his work. He watched your daily routine, expecting to uncover drama, deception, or hidden motives. Instead, he found consistency. Quiet strength. A calm spirit that remained steady even when no one else was around. That unsettled him. One evening, while reviewing everything he had collected, he sat alone in his car, staring at the photos and notes. For the first time in years, his confidence disappeared. He felt a deep conviction that this assignment had become something he should never have accepted. It wasn't fear. It was the realization that some lives cannot be understood by suspicion alone. Some journeys are shaped by faith, perseverance, and God's unseen guidance. Without warning, he walked away from the job. He refused to hand over the information he had gathered.
Instead, he left behind a short anonymous message for the person who had sent him. It read, "The answers you're searching for won't be found by chasing someone else. Look honestly at your own heart before you go any further." Those words marked a turning point. The search ended. The questions changed. What began as an attempt to investigate someone else's life became an invitation for self-reflection. And this is where the message takes a deeper meaning. Scripture often reminds us that God sees what people cannot. While others may judge by appearances, the Lord looks at the heart. His protection doesn't always come through dramatic signs. It often appears through unexpected moments, changed hearts, and quiet interventions that redirect the course of someone's life. Sometimes the greatest miracle isn't exposing a secret. It's transforming a heart before greater harm is done. This wasn't a moment of judgment, it was a reminder that God's protection never left you. Even when you couldn't see what was happening behind the scenes, His hand remained over your life. Every closed door, every unexpected delay, and every unanswered question became part of a greater purpose you couldn't yet understand. If this message speaks to your heart, take a moment to leave a comment with the word "covered." Let it be a simple declaration of faith and gratitude, and encourage someone else who may need this reminder today. Never forget this. There were moments when your prayers felt like they disappeared into silence, but heaven heard every word. There were nights when you felt completely alone, yet God's presence never left your side. When others misunderstood your quietness and mistook it for weakness, God was building wisdom, patience, and strength within you. You were never forgotten. The difficult season wasn't sent to break your spirit, it was preparing you for the next chapter of your life. Every challenge shaped your character, strengthened your faith, and reminded you that God's timing is always greater than your own. Soon, the growth you've experienced in private will become visible to everyone around you. Those who once questioned your journey may begin to see it differently. Some will reflect on their own choices. Others may recognize the ways they misjudged you. Real conviction doesn't always arrive with instant apologies, it often begins quietly, leading people to examine their own hearts and the paths they've taken. And that's one of the greatest works God can do. He doesn't simply change circumstances, He transforms hearts. So keep walking forward with confidence. Stay rooted in faith. Continue choosing peace over bitterness, grace over revenge, and truth over fear. Because when God is your protector, you don't have to prove your worth to anyone. In His perfect time, He reveals the truth, strengthens those who trust Him, and opens doors that no one can shut. There was a time when some people believed they had lost their connection with you. Instead of choosing honesty, they tried to hold on through pressure, assumptions, or control. But what they failed to understand was this: you are no longer the person you used to be. Life has changed you. Your faith has matured. Your perspective has deepened. The struggles you survived didn't weaken you, they shaped you into someone stronger, wiser, and more grounded than before. What others interpreted as weakness was actually a season of preparation. What looked like stepping back was often God creating space for something greater ahead. This message isn't meant to fill you with fear or suspicion. It's meant to remind you that your life has purpose. When you walk with faith, your actions, your peace, and your character naturally leave an impression on the people around you. Some will be inspired. Some will be curious. Some may not understand what makes you different, but they will notice the quiet confidence that comes from trusting God. That isn't because you're trying to stand out. It's because God's work in your life becomes visible through the way you live. The story continues with an unexpected turn. The person who had spent so much time observing your journey found themselves searching for answers they never expected to need. Instead of continuing down the same path, they walked into a local church one Sunday, hoping to find peace they couldn't explain. They sat quietly in the back, listening to a message about grace, forgiveness, and new beginnings. Something changed in their heart. By the end of the service, they realized they no longer wanted to live the life they had known before. They chose a different direction, one marked by hope instead of fear and faith instead of regret.